Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Most Excellent Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith, and with me this week is a man who is a backyard wrestler. This is our second time having a backyard wrestler on the show. It's an interesting world to dive into. Um, Mr. Kraven Rage Michaels. Did I get the last name right?
Yes, you did.
All right. Yes, it's an interesting way to spell Michaels. Welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course. Absolutely. I've got a light coming in. That's going to drive me crazy. I guess I just have to sit forward. All right. Let's do this. All right, man. So, backyard wrestling. It's an interesting thing. Like when I was a kid, there was tons of us who would get together and we all liked wrestling. We beat each other up in the backyard or whatever. But it wasn't something that was really organized like it is now. You guys have videos out on YouTube and you travel to different companies and you'll wrestle all over the place in these backyard shows. What do you think led to the big expansion of backyard wrestling?
Well, I think what it was just more of the inspiration and the fire and the passion like everybody else have, because all of us have grew up watching wrestling.
Yeah,
From us being little, watching, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, you know, you name them, to the generation now, to The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Roman Reigns, all these performers and stars now these days, everybody grew up watching wrestling at
yeah,
some point of their life, and we always wanted to live out that dream and passion of doing it. So growing up watching it and just say, "Oh, this is cool. Let's go out here and do this. Let's go out here and do that and do this and do that," and just imitating what we see on TV was just cool. And then trying to experience it for us in real life, it pretty much it was just a dream for us to do it, and
yeah,
that's what inspired like pretty much everybody that does it. That's everybody's dream, is to one day just to be what they see on TV, or if they want to be a movie star, if they want to be whatever. That's just a dream and a passion. And like for me, it was just growing up. I always loved the passion of wrestling, and like I grew up in the '80s, in the '90s, and that was my passion. Just watching Ultimate Warrior, watching Hulk Hogan, and watching all these legends and wanting to be like them, and watching Sting and watching, these wrestlers and stuff. So that's why I got into it, is because I always wanted to wrestle. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? And that is the reason why I got into it. And backyard wrestling was never one of my things. It was more of, I never knew nothing about backyard wrestling. It was just more of, I heard about it because I know like a lot of people do it on trampoline, they wrestle on the ground, you know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And I never knew about backyard wrestling. Like, what is backyard wrestling? You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I just figured it was just like guys getting together, just wrestling in the backyard. And that's what I always thought it was, you know. And I want to say around about 2001, you know what I'm saying? The company I work for now, WCE, came along, and they came with a backyard, a company called Wrestling Championship Entertainment, which I work under.
Okay.
And I literally approached them, and they said they have a wrestling ring, and I was like, you know,
Nice.
I would like to pay part of it, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, and yeah, I have done like training and stuff like that because that's one of the big keys of wrestling. Because if you're not training or and stuff like that, because sometimes you don't know what you're doing,
Right.
or a person can get hurt. And
Right.
yeah, accidents does happen in wrestling. It happens all the time
Yeah.
if you don't know what you actually doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but you can wrestle safely as possible, but you can end up still breaking a bone, breaking a leg. That's part of wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Uh, get hit, walk out with a busted lip, whatever,
Yeah.
and that's just part of wrestling, and they do have hardcore stuff where you see people getting spiked in the head with light tubes and all that stuff. And yeah, that is real stuff. They say wrestling is not real. It is pretty much you can make it real as you want it to be. And that is the thing. You can make it real as you want it to be, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a difference of being an entertainer or a safe hazard. That's the thing when it comes to being a wrestler.
Yeah.
And me, I'm a safe wrestler where I perform under what I know I can do, what I can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I have been trained. Yeah, I have met a lot of different professional wrestlers. Like I recently met Hulk Hogan before he passed away.
Okay.
Physically, physically met him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before he passed away. I have met Hornswoggle. I have met, the Boogeyman. I
Okay.
have met, Kevin Nash, Bret the Hitman Hart. You know what I'm saying? I have met real wrestlers that have wrestled in under WWE flagship or used to wrestle under WWE flagship,
Yeah.
So when WCE came along, they said they had a wrestling company. I
Right.
told them I wanted to be a part of it because it was more of getting together, like you have said, getting together, a whole bunch of friends getting together just to have fun,
Yeah.
and that is what I enjoy about wrestling because it's all about fun. At the end of the day, it's all about fun because none of us is actually getting paid to do this.
Right.
Yeah, you have some companies out there that will go in front of crowds of people that people come and watch, you know, and watch them, and you have to perform in front of that crowd of people to entertain them. That is your job, is to entertain the people. And and the difference is for the backyarders, the only entertainment that we have is right on camera
Hmm.
when we get our stuff recorded and it's put it on YouTube or whatever the case may be. That's where we get the viewers, people watching it, and the people liking the product and liking the content that we brought out to the people. And the more viewers that watch it, the more it, that channel will go up pretty
Right.
much.
Right.
you
Right.
know, and that's like building a channel. That's how you build your channel. That's how you build up to anything. Like we ain't trying to make money, we ain't trying to make profit or anything like that. We just out here just having fun, a group of guys coming together and just want to just have fun, you know. And when they asked me to come along, they like, we know you know a lot about wrestling. We would like you to wrestle with us, you know, and just come and help some of the guys to show them and elevate these guys so they can be better, so they can do their craft better, so they can showcase their talent better, so they can just go out here and have fun, you know.
Sure.
And they do that. They come to WCE They have their characters, what they portray themselves as, and they live they dream as that person who they that character that they created have become, you know,
Yeah.
and they go out there and they wrestle, they entertain, and they put on a show, just like I do, And when I go in there, I go out there and I just compete and 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 compete. And my goal is just to prove that I am good in that ring as a performer.
Okay. Right on, man. So now, you mentioned that you had done some training. What kind of training have you gotten as
Well,
far
I
as?
have like the basic training, like how to take bumps, how to do the lockups, how to do the headlock takeovers, the basic training. I want to say tools that they give you when you go to these training facilities that
Okay.
some schools give out because they do have schools like Booker T has a school, Chef Robin has a school, you know, Hornswoggle has a school, Cody Rhodes has a school. All
Yep.
these schools will that these companies that some of these wrestlers own, they have these schools. And yeah, they have trainers at these schools that will train you these things, teach you these things because you got people that want to be wrestlers. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Does it cost? It does cost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? To do it, you know what I'm saying? But if they had a passion, they had a heart, they had a desire, they will fork out the money. They will fork out and they will do it. And they can graduate to the next level. And then next, you see that same person that was going to school probably 2 or 3 years. He's on TV and he went from being a nobody to a pretty much a superstar because
Sure.
now he went through all the training and he went through all the hard times to he put all in the work and effort to get to where everybody else has gotten. And there's a lot that people
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just not just you just walk off the streets type of stuff and just walk in and sign up type of stuff and get in the ring type of stuff. No, you have to go through all these stuff, you know, and but there are like local promotions, companies in all these states that have like independent wrestlers as well, where they have people that they bring in that they know or and people know them around town because they are independent wrestler. They not a really professional. They not a local. They not a pro semi pro wrestler. They just
Mhm.
they like that they are called semi pro wrestlers,
Yeah.
and they just like they pretty much it's local base where they will wrestle for different local companies and stuff like that. And then you also have like the backyard wrestlers,
Okay.
where you got wrestlers like such as myself and other people that just was strictly just wrestle in the backyard, just for
Right.
fun. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Where they not just just doing it just for fun and games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that
Okay.
is
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
that is where a lot of people try it's different levels. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's a barrier, and sometimes it causes a lot of conflict because you get like the semi pro wrestlers that wrestle for the local pro companies and stuff like that. They
Mm.
really don't like backyard wrestlers just because they feel like they need more training. because
Right.
these wrestlers has went through training and stuff like that, which I totally agree sometimes, but I
Mm.
disagree because at some point of their life, they did the same stuff that we have done. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And once they forget that where they actually come from and go into that other mind frame, it's like, okay, we are better than you now. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that is where I have learned I where I start, I'm gonna always finish. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
And this is where I'm comfortable at. This is where I know where I'm safe and I'm a safe environment. And I know I can do this for fun because I'm around a group of friends and
Hmm.
I'm around a group of people that I know these people and I
Okay.
know the workers very well that I have been working with, compared to just stepping in a situation where I don't know the worker. I don't know what he's capable of or whatever he's doing, you
Hmm.
know, without me doing a full blown study or me being around him 24/7 because then I have to be on the road with this guy. I have to travel with this guy. I have to be around this guy pretty much every single day just to get the ins and out of what he's capable of doing or what is doing a lot of studying on this guy just to figure out what he is doing, because
Yeah.
that is one of the big keys of wrestling is trusting your opponent, being comfortable with your opponent, and safety is a big concern in wrestling, guys in wrestling literally um they they trust each other. Every wrestler in WWE, they trust each other, they train with each other, you know what I'm saying? They be on the road with each other, you know what I'm saying? They talk to each other backstage, you know, they it's they walk through everything, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's a dance, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's one thing about wrestling is it's truly a dance routine.
Yeah.
You in the ring with somebody and y'all are partners pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And y'all putting on an act, and you are literally putting on the show. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not real life fight. It's literally y'all putting on a act where you just perform.
Okay. So you kind of answered my question a little bit, so I'm going to take it in a little bit of a different direction. Um, so you said you went and you got some training, you learned the basics. Uh, so the first thing I'm wondering is where did you get that training from? And then the other thing is the reason why you didn't go further with the training because you were more comfortable working in the backyard? Is that basically why you didn't continue on and go become an independent wrestler?
Yeah, that's mainly I got the training through uh Damian Knight, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay.
May he rest in peace. I got the training through him, you know, uh, and just Avalon and stuff like that. I got all my training through mainly through those guys,
Yeah.
and went through ACW Hornswoggle School.
Okay.
Got through my training through that,
Okay.
and I think, like I said, mainly it was I wanted to just to do backyard more than anything, just because after like being behind the scenes and stuff like that, and seeing how the independents truly work and stuff, you
Yeah.
know, it I can tell like, okay, this is not cut out for me. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
I could tell
Well,
this was not gonna be cut out for me just because it's like, yeah, I could have pursued it and go further, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
went and performed in front of a loud crowd of people. But I was like, you know what? No, this is not gonna be for me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Uh, I wanted to say I want to do something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I want to do something different.
Okay. Honestly,
And
a lot of backyard wrestlers are just people who loved wrestling and wanted to do it. You know, they didn't seek out any kind of training or anything. So I appreciate the fact that you are in the backyard and helping these people be safe. I mean, that's awesome. That's not
that
something you hear about all the time. You know, so that's
and
very cool.
that's the reason why I wanted to do it. That's one of the reasons why I do it. Because when I first got approached about it, everybody was like, you know, when the company approached me, it's like we want to start like a backyard prayer, but
Yeah.
we didn't know how to do it. You know,
Yeah.
and I was like, a backyard prayer, and I was like, yeah, we want to do a backyard thing, and I was like, hey, well, I know a little bit, and I can show you what y'all can do.
Right.
You know, to bring them on board, I guarantee you, I can make WCE relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And make it known. You know, and so we started off in 2001,
Okay.
and we, like I said, it was just a little handful of us, probably six people the most. You know what I'm saying? And it went from being us from six, and then we start getting noticed. Then we start getting noticed. We started grow. The numbers start growing up and up and up and up and up and up. Not
Yeah.
like for people, it was more of the groups because we had an extra ring.
Right. Right.
You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? And that was the thing, like we had an extra ring, the setup, the product, what I'm saying? A lot of company, a lot of, you know, a lot of people didn't really have that. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
lot of people is like, what? What? Wait a minute. They have a this company got a ring. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it was other few companies out there, what I'm saying, as well too. But it was just like, well, hey, we got a ring. You know what I'm saying? And so it was pretty much like the whole backyard community was pretty much like solid, you know, especially here in Wisconsin. It was really dead for like 15, 20 years. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
People who haven't done backyard wrestling like here in Wisconsin probably like 15, 20 years.
Okay.
But then when I came along and started helping these guys do it, it got more popular. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people started hearing about it, like WCE. And then next thing you know, the Facebook started blowing up, and people was messaging WCE like, hey, what y'all company is about? We heard y'all got a ring. And
Yeah.
yeah, we got a ring, and this is who this is who is ran by, and and this is who the owner is. This is who you contact if you want to take part of it. And this is the policy. This is how you know, and the owner, have a policy of safety. It's a
Mhm.
priority. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we she gave out waiver forms, and stuff like that. Said, hey, if you
Oh
come,
wow.
you got to sign a waiver form and all that. And just be safe and stuff like that. Don't do no drugs because it's in the backyard. Is
Yeah.
that it's on her property. So of course we gotta be more respectful. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
that's somebody's house. So just like, okay, so just say, you know what, this is what we're gonna do. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna have rules. We're gonna have strict rules. If nobody don't like it, then they don't have to take part. You know what
Right.
I'm
Right. Right.
saying? If this is your house.
Right.
Whatever you say, go. You make the final say. So you the boss. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to get in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, she doesn't know nothing about wrestling. She never watches wrestling or anything, but she she comes to the head people pretty much and they got her and be like, hey, how should we approach this? How should we approach this? And they be like, okay, you know, this is how we approach it. You know what I'm saying? They sit down, they book the matches, they come up, create different matches, and this is how we do it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
And stuff like that. And so she look over the cards, and she's like, okay, and then she go to another person and ask them, does this even make sense? And that person will tell them, yeah, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? After he digests it and picks it apart, he literally would literally pick the whole card apart. Like
Okay.
they pass the card to him, he'd look at it and be like, okay, this card doesn't fucking make sense. I don't like it one fucking bit. It doesn't make sense. I'm gonna pick this card apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he does every time. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm picking this card apart because it doesn't fucking make sense.
Right.
I think, okay, well, you put the card together, and he puts the card together, and he's like, well, you my champion, so, you know, and I was like, yeah, I know I'm your champion. I don't like the shit the way it's going. Change it.
Yeah.
Calm down, you know. And sometimes they do change it. Sometimes they listen to me. Sometimes they don't. But you know, but 80% of the time they know what they're doing. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So and I truly trust the management here more than
Okay.
I would trust anybody on this planet. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying?
Yeah.
I
Right.
trust the management here than I would trust any independent management out there. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And that's the main reason why is this is a safe environment for me, and anybody that comes here because it's it's a safe environment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The owner, phenomenal. She takes care of everybody, their needs, they wants. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Try to make everybody comfortable, happy. You know, very respectful to all the I want to say members of
Yeah.
WC. You know what I'm saying? She's very respectful um, because this is her safe.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? This is a safe haven. So when she opened the doors, you know what I'm saying, is pretty much she's got an open door policy where she's opened her home to people that she really don't know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So she's pretty much on like 100 alert. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where she's out of her comfort zone because it's total strangers in her home. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In and out her home. So she don't know what could happen. Anything could happen. She don't really know them.
Yeah.
But since from 2001, she's been working with the same people since 2001. So she's kind of comfortable with the same people that been in and out of her home since then. So
Yeah.
she used to those type of people that have been here constantly since then, from day one, that who call it, you know what I'm saying? And and so she's safe with those people. And so she's like, all right, I'm comfortable with this person. I'm comfortable with that person. I'm comfortable with this person. And when new talent shows up, then she's like, okay, now I got now I have to worry because I got new talent showing up.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't know who this person is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
Then
So
that's when
go
she
ahead.
called the big people in, and big people had to show up and they'd be like, okay, so who is this person? I don't know.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's why I called you here.
Yeah.
They should call the other boss, and another boss up shows up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, now we got him here.
Right on. So you mentioned safety a couple times. Early on in the conversation, you talked about sometimes there's light tubes and whatnot. And you talked about people trying to build up the views on the YouTube channel. I know that part of the problem that a lot of people have with backyard wrestling is a lot of it is just people who aren't trained beating each other with weapons and all kinds of craziness. Is there a temptation to make it really hardcore to get views on YouTube, or what? Or do you guys mostly stick to traditional wrestling?
We stick to traditional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? The basic stuff. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we do a little bit of hardcore style stuff, but we don't go too extreme. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we throw in like probably you'll probably see somebody go through a table or a door that we use, you know what I'm saying? Or get hit with a trash can, get hit with kendo sticks, get hit with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh, whatever little weapons that we have gathered, you know what I'm saying? Little small stuff. But
yeah,
like light tubes or thumbtacks or barbed wire. No, we don't go there. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? We don't go there and stuff like that because, like I said, it's more safety. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Or anything that as well with us. You know, and I guess like some people, I look at it like some people are just not built for that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, like some people are just not built to get hit with lightning or built for those death type matches.
Right,
You get a lot of people that claim, "Oh, I'm a death match wrestler." When no, you're not. You
right.
know what I'm saying? No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? Uh, there's levels when it comes to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like you can never put me in a death match because I would never know what to do. You know,
Right,
even though all the experience that I have, I would never step in a death match because I'm like a level one. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And that is what so many level, you know, the highest level of to be a true death match wrestler is like a level three or level four. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They I seen. You know what I'm saying? And I have seen a lot on YouTube and be like, okay, that is a true death match wrestler. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Sure.
Well, I've seen a lot of people take a lot of different stuff, and I'm like, holy
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been doing this in the same company for almost 25 years now.
yeah,
Um, in that time, who has been the? Have you had a rival that that you've really had? You just can't shake them, and you guys wrestle a lot.
yeah. James Marshall.
Okay.
I say James Marshall has been like the one of my biggest rivals that I have had, and it's more of like I have had classic matches with James Marshall where mm, pretty much he is one of the top guys here in WCE
Yeah.
where I can get in the ring with him and literally put on like a 5-star match with him every time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I know like I don't pretty much rate my matches. I have other people rate my matches like Copper Dragon and he usually rates my matches, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I probably out of all my matches, I'm probably the one that have got the most 5-star matches of all time of all my matches
Okay.
off of his rating scale. And mostly, and it's because of how I perform. You understand?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who I'm in the ring with. I'm gonna
Okay.
make that person look good. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's my job. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's to make my opponent look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my the other job is the opponent to make me to look good. You know what I'm saying? If they can't make me look good, I have to make myself look good. You
Hmm.
know. So I know how to sell. I know how to make myself look good to make myself look good. But
Okay.
um, but with James, I don't have to worry about that. James is gonna make me look good. I'm gonna make him look good, and we can go in there and put on a 5-star match, and it literally gonna have pretty much like the match of the night every time. You know,
Awesome.
and like steal the show every time.
Awesome. So, what was I going to say? Do you guys ever wrestle in front of people? And if you don't wrestle in front of people, how hard is it to get the emotion going and all that stuff in the matches with no crowd?
It's it's a challenge sometimes, especially when we don't have like a crowd of people. You know what I'm saying? It's a challenge at times because that's the difference. Because when you wrestle in front of a crowd of people, then you have to play the crowd. You have to get the emotion of the crowd. You have to feed off the crowd. You have to do all the other acting and stuff like that instead of just going out there and wrestle. You understand? Compared to when you don't have a crowd, you just going out there and wrestle. You understand? Without having a crowd of people. You
Right.
know, so you know, we sometimes we get maybe a few people because sometimes some of the wrestlers they'll reach out to the owners that, hey, I got my sister, I got my nieces, I got my nephew. Uh, can I bring them along? You know what I'm saying? And the owner be like, yeah, sure, bring them along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like she doesn't have kids, so you know it's not a big thing when they have
Right.
kids. You know what I'm saying? Having kids over and stuff like that. Because like her neighbor has two little kids and stuff like that, and they like come over, like they come over and watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
So it's like people like we. There's times that we had a couple people walking down the street
Yeah.
seeing us wrestling. They'd be like, "Hey, can we come watch?" And like sure, couple couple of guys did like that. Invite them over and stuff like that.
Right on.
You know, and it has happened where when like I said when we first started, we started off in Medford, Wisconsin. And then they moved it to the Pier, Wisconsin. Then they moved it the location to Appleton, Wisconsin.
Okay. Okay.
You
So,
know,
oh, go ahead.
but no, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just got a couple questions you about being in Wisconsin. Um, because it's wintertime is coming up pretty soon. What do you guys do in the winter? Do you have an indoor place where you wrestle, or do you shut it down, or how's
No,
that?
they normally shut it down. They normally run from April to October. You
Okay.
know, they have shows from April to October because they try to get most shows every month in or every month in like one or two shows in if they possibly could. It depends on people if they get enough people if we get enough people, and that is one of the struggles that they do have is trying to get enough people to come wrestle because
Mhm.
it's like I said, everybody's from different parts of
Yeah.
they not like all local. Some live in probably like 2 or 3 hours away. Some live 2 hours away,
Yeah.
couple stay right in Appleton, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, they have to get to the location of where the event is at to actually get there. And if they don't have the transportation to get there, then it's hard for them to actually be there for the
Right.
show at the time. So it's kind of tricky sometimes. So that's where like the planning and stuff like that, they try to the company tried to plan out ahead of time to give them people enough time to get all their finances and get everything. planned out for them to get to the location and having funds to get to where they need to, because like the travel, or it's going to cost and stuff because they have to pay to get to where they need to get to, especially if they're traveling to Appleton, so
Right,
that
right.
that's the thing too, and that was another with me. That's another reason why I didn't really want to be like an independent wrestler, because I didn't want to be traveling a lot too, you
Gotcha.
know,
Okay.
because that's one part of being an independent wrestler, because you constantly on the road too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? You get dedicating your whole life pretty much wrestling, going from state to state or town to town. You know what I'm saying? To wrestle. Sometimes it's you wrestle in front of. It depends. Sometimes you
Yeah,
wrestle in front of 50 people. Sometimes you wrestling in front of 100 people. Sometimes you wrestle in front of 1,000 people. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It truly depends on the company that you're working for, and truly depends on how big that company is
Right.
when
Sure,
you become an independent wrestler. You know what I'm saying? And
sure.
if they have like if they have that company have a big following already, you know what I'm saying? They're
Mm.
gonna draw in a lot of people, you know
Right,
what I'm saying,
right,
already, because they have a big following. You know what
right.
I'm saying? So like if like they got, for example, if one company, I give like they say WC, right? If WC was an independent company and
Yeah.
we had 2.3K or like 4.K viewers of followers or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And we hosting a show. Of course, we're gonna draw in a lot of people, because a lot of people has been following us. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? So when we host a show, are we gonna have probably like close to 200, 300 people in a venue at least, just because we have a big following already?
right,
The more following you have, the more people that is actually gonna come and watch what you is putting out.
right, right,
And that's one thing. It depends what company is and who they actually bring. Some independent companies, they bring in former WWE, TNA, AEW, whatever, just
sure.
to bring in more people, because who wouldn't want to meet like Hulk Hogan? Who wouldn't want to meet, you know, all these professional wrestlers
Right,
in person?
right.
Everybody would, anybody would, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So of course you want to go pay to see that wrestler, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And on top of it, you also plan to you, you paying for to meet to greet the wrestler that's there, and you plan to actually going to go actually see some wrestling yourself.
right,
So you know what I'm saying? So it's so you helping that company out by forking out probably 20, $30 the most, you know what I'm saying? Depends on on how much they selling their tickets, you know what I'm saying?
right, right, right.
But then and then you also seeing the other person wrestle too, and yeah, it can be fun, but it can be straining too, because as an independent wrestler, you have to pay for your own gas. You have to pay for your own transportation there. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to do all the other work, like setting up the ring, doing all this, doing all that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then you have to prepare for your match on top of it. You understand? And if you don't really know who your opponent is that well, it's nerve wracking. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes,
like when I did my graduating school, my first debut for ACW, I was nervous.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But I was in the Rumble, so you know that was the easy part, because I was in the Rumble. They threw me
right.
in like the Royal Rumble type of thing. So, but I was still nervous.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? A big crowd of people,
Right.
you know, being in a rumble where it's 20 people,
Yeah. It's a lot of bodies.
a lot of bodies. I just went for the biggest person because that was the first thing that was what my trainer taught me. It's like go for the biggest person. And actually it was one of the guys that was next to me in line that he
Hmm.
told me flat out. He's like, I know you're nervous. He's like, just come after me.
Okay. Cool.
And I went after him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There you go.
And but it just I wanted to pursue this and it was the best decision because I wanted to do something to live out my dream,
Yeah.
and I'm living out the best dream ever, just being me.
Right on, man. Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
have much fun doing it. And that's why I'm doing it because it's fun. I'm having fun,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And that's what WC is about. It's actually having fun.
Right on, man.
Because that's what it stands for, Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Because that's what we built it for, to entertain,
Awesome.
and you know, and they have a show coming up September 27th.
Okay.
It's called Summer Fallout. You
Okay.
know, it's gonna be it's gonna be a good show that's gonna be coming out. I will be defending the WCE All Out Championship at this show. Uh, I haven't. They haven't booked my opponent just yet. I don't know who my opponent is yet.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will be defending this title at this show. I know that it's been spectating that it might be a gauntlet that for with 7 to 8 different people for the number one contendership for the title.
And then whoever wins, they're gonna get a shot at you. Is that
They get a shot at this for
okay?
the richest prize in WCE, you
Okay.
know, and because I have held this title this is my third time holding this title, you
Wow.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been this champion 3 times already. First
Mm.
time I held it was the longest champion for almost 2 years when I held it the first time,
Wow.
before I lost it. you
Okay.
know, and I just recently reclaimed it back, so it made me 3 times.
All right. Well,
So that we got that show coming up, and then we have the season. They have the season finale, which is the Fighter Fight, which it will be in October.
okay. Okay.
It, it's like it's pretty much like their WrestleMania of the season is the final, and that's going to be a big show as well. But
Okay.
yeah, Summer Fallout is going to be a good one. I am looking forward of whoever winning that gauntlet, but whoever wins it, I'm just going to let them know you hear it right now that they're going to have a fight of their life.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, man. Before we go, if you want to let people know where they can find you online, where they can find WCE online, um, go for it.
You can find WC on Wrestling Championship Entertainment. We do have a YouTube channel as well, what I'm saying, called WC Heat. You know, you can look up WCHeat.com and that will take out to our YouTube channel. You know, we don't have a website anymore, but we do have a Facebook, and you can subscribe to our channel. Uh, Subscribe to WCE, Wrestling Championship Entertainment. I believe they had like 961 subscribers,
All
trying to
right.
get to 1,000. mark. So I'm just trying to get all the subscribers up as possible. Uh,
Heck
uh, well, that's where you can find pretty much WCE at. You know what I'm saying?
awesome.
Uh,
Awesome. Yeah.
and Facebook.
Cool. Yeah. And I'll put all that stuff down in the description too if anybody's interested in checking WCE out or uh, getting to know. The production on the shows is very high. Like, and especially with there being a ring, if it wasn't in someone's yard, it could almost be an independent wrestling company. Like, I mean, they do a nice job of putting together a show. So I encourage y'all to check it out. Um, and I want to thank Kraven for coming on in. This was fun, man. This was an informative conversation. I appreciate you stopping by.
Oh,
And
no problem. Most definitely. I enjoy your time, you know, and I definitely will tell others about you and definitely you will let um management know and stuff like that, and hopefully we can put this on our channel as
of course,
well. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And to let everybody know, you know, to check you out as well and stuff as well, you know,
cool.
and how to get a hold of you too, just because that is what we here to do, help other people build their channel, help the community the best way we can.
Yeah,
And that is what we are trying to do to help people grow. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And stuff like that, you know.
yeah. So before I go, I do want to give a shout out to my producer Tyler Martin and Emmy Studios. Um, our upload our upload schedule has been a little erratic lately. Well, he's been going through some personal things and you know, just life stuff. Most of it good. Um, and so hopefully we're gonna get back on track soon as far as our Tuesday morning uploads. I also want to thank Jay Sizzle for coming in and editing the Dickie Rossetti interview that we did over a month ago. We're finally going to get that up on the page. Mr. Rossetti, I'm sorry that it took so long. It's a very entertaining interview, so please check that out. By the time this video comes out, it'll be up. So, yeah, go back in the archives and check out the Dickie Rossetti interview. It's very, very good. Um, and yeah, man, I personally just want to thank everybody who tunes in every week and checks out Most Excellent Entertainment. It is one of the coolest things that I do other than playing basketball with my boy, really is doing this podcast every week, man. So thank you, thanks to all the guests, thanks to Kraven Mikeals once again, um, and I appreciate everybody. And we will see you all next week for more Most Excellent Entertainment.